Hi,
Hi
Rachel.
guys,
Hi,
how are
Rachel.
you? Uh, The last time we talked to each other, it was not that many people had seen Nickel Boys, so it's been very fun for me to kind of see you guys get the praise you deserve for this movie. And so I want to know, how has it been now that more and more audiences are getting to see it and interact with it, especially in like critic circles?
Hmm. Huh. I don't know. There's been just like kind of so much movement. Um, I don't know if it hasn't stopped yet, so I don't know if I've like really paused to like note the differences from like when it started to where we are now. It's like because the responses I think have been continuously very generous and yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I agree. In terms of, I agree with what he was saying about it's been kind of a continuous, like people are saying really amazing things, which we continue to be appreciative of. But yeah, it's hard to. It is crazy. You're right. That number is growing, and it's only gonna continue to grow because it comes out
Yeah.
this month. And I think that's what I'm excited for. Excuse me, the most. Kind of being released to the general audience and seeing how they feel about it. Um, yeah, the emphasis really is on a gratefulness that people are opening themselves up to the experience and to the visual language of the film and letting themselves get affected. Um, that's all I feel like we could have really asked for.
It's also cool, I think, like the more people that do see it and that we get to talk to afterwards, we keep learning about the film, like different things that I didn't even know. Like there's certain things that Ramel had put in that connect to people more directly than it connected to me, and then they start to teach me about like what some of these things actually mean and that I had just went over my head. So that's kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah, I want to ask about that because like my favorite thing is the use of the moon landing footage. I think it's such an
Mm.
interesting touch to this movie because it makes me think of that history, how it was hidden, and also how this was a hidden story up until recently. What has been the most shocking thing that has related to somebody that you heard about and were like, I didn't even think about it in that way?
Hmm. I don't. I don't know. I'm just gonna say this one while Ethan's thinking about something too. Um, there was a guy actually who he was telling me he was living in Africa around the time that this film is set, and he was teaching, like in a yeah, in like a very poor community, and he was teaching these kids about the moon landings, and like I don't know, he was just sharing about like how his experience was kind of parallel to the film, like being in this world where this thing has like absolute like almost no meaning in like their actual direct reality, but him kind of like bringing this outside, I don't know, image to them and teaching them about this thing. I don't know what I just said, but that's something that someone shared with me that I thought was fascinating. He also told me he was like present for a lot of the civil rights like riots and like some of the activism movements, and he told me like there's like an image in the film where the boys are practicing interlocking their legs. They're doing this thing, and I just thought it was a lovely image. But he was like, "Oh no, they're practicing so if riot squads come and try to break them apart, they can't be pulled apart so easily." I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
okay,
That's whoa, that's cool.
yeah."
I didn't know that either. Um, I will say that one of the things that that stuck with me that we've kind of talked about a few times now in different Q&As and stuff is maybe this was in London, but someone said that this movie is a black mother's worst nightmare. Um, and that was the first time I had heard something like that, and the first time I had considered it in that way. Uh, and it was, I don't know, it was really interesting to hear because it just caused me to reflect a lot about the importance of this movie and how something like that, a statement like that reflects some things in my own life, in my personal life. So I think that's one of many things that's been shared, but that's one that stuck with me throughout this whole journey.
I am so very proud of you guys. Every time I see someone praising this movie, I'm like, yay, they did it again. They're so great. But thank you guys for talking with me again. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait for more audiences to get to see Nipple Boys.
Thanks for
you.
having us
Thank
again.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.